Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome. We are 1 p.m. over in Phoenix time, and I know around the world we're multiple different time zones. We have my partner in crime, if you will, Silvio, with us here, and this is actually being recorded. So today's webinar, again, is going to be really informal, as those who are attending these on a multiple times are starting to see. We're going to have some questions and answers. Trying to save those for the end. Obviously, put some in the chat, and we will answer them as much as we go. But try to, at the very end, we're going to open it up for some questions and answers. So if you actually do have some, maybe write them down and then bring them up towards the end of our conversation. We are going to go over a little bit more of the AI, and Silvio is going to show you a little bit more of the SEO as it works with our platform. So those that are familiar with our platform, you will have seen sections that actually you can do some SEO, and that's kind of what we're going to go over today. And then if time permits, which it should, we will go into a little bit more of our AI. And then also a friendly reminder that the offer that we have put out there for everybody, with the PWA, the unlimited, the keep the SSL prices at they are, the AI tool that will be coming, that is still there. So those that want to take advantage of that, please just log into your platform, and it's $99 a year. It's absolutely an incredible deal, as you all know, and that's our thank you to you all. And so let's get going. All right, thanks
Yeah,
everybody.
all right.
Oh, yes, I'm going to make the screen bigger. I remember it from last time. I will make this one bigger in just a moment. So I'm going to hand it over a bit to Silvio here, and I will actually stop screen sharing.
Yeah,
So
well,
I'm
I'll
just,
screen share. I'll start screen
yes,
sharing when needed. All right. So thank you all for being here. Well, yeah, as Scotty mentioned, today we're gonna talk. We're gonna let's say last week we talked about SEO. Let's say an overview, a rather general overview of SEO. This week we're gonna go a little bit deeper into how to actually do SEO on our platform. If you remember, if you were here or not, I will, just give you a very quick and brief summary. Let's say that SEO is divided, let's say, in two: on screen and off screen. Sorry, on site and off site. Let's say, and the on site part is basically content, so generating content and then managing the structure of your website and then handling speed. And last week we saw that obviously, apart from the content, which we're going to talk about a little bit today with the AI part that we have added to our platform, this sorry, the MobiFirst platform takes care of generating the best possible structure for your website. So, clean, lean, and straightforward structure and HTML code. And at the same time, as we have seen and as we have repeated many, many times, as you have learned, or I guess, you should be almost, full of this thing. We are the fastest platform, and Google itself, in many occasions on their, let's say, blogs, on their official blogs, mentions that the page speed is one of, if not one of the most important ranking factors in, again, ranking and positioning your websites and your pages on their search engines results, especially on mobile. And so that is why that is why we are focused mainly on that in the technical point of view. We obviously are, our platform is capable of building nice looking websites with nice animations, nice transitions, and blah blah blah. But we also focused a lot of our energies, in terms of technical energies, into making them very very fast, because Google said, well, because Google said that is what they, an important element in ranking, and then because it's nice to, navigate, especially on mobile, in a website which is pretty fast. So we said that is the, let's say, on-site part, right? The site structure and all that. And then we have the off-site part, which is mostly revolves around link building, right? So the ability to create links that point to our pages, to our websites, and to our web pages. Building links, which means guest blogging, or in general, being becoming guests on other blogs, on podcasts, on videos, anywhere. Let's say our name, our brand can be, shared, and possibly having links back to our website. First of all, hi everybody. Sorry, I see the chat scrolling, and it's nice that everybody's actually introducing itself, and that's very nice. Hi Steve from the UK. Hello from New Mexico. Hey there, Ernest, Patrick, Ron. Hello, thank you, Abdul. Yeah, Will. I guess, I mean, you can see the screen. That's Scotty's screen, but now I'm gonna share my screen, because what we're gonna do again. So these are, let's say, the hey there, Vicky from Alabama, I guess. Yeah, right. Let's say those are the general, right? These are the general principles for SEO. And what does it mean, SEO? Why is SEO important? If you remember, we had those slides in our last webinar, in our last meeting, where where it said that about 60% of all, internet, let's say, experiences start from a search engine, and 95% so far start from Google, right? So SEO, so being well positioned on search engines, is extremely important. Is yet today extremely important for being found. And being found, that means that our business, our products, our offer, whatever that be, if it's a business offer, so if it helps us make money, or if it's presenting our brand, presenting our services, or all that. Vincent, I missed the first webinar. Will there be a replay? Yes, of course. Actually, there is a replay, I guess.
It goes out automatic.
Those are automatic, exactly. And
Yes,
then we are actually, Scotty, correct me if I'm wrong, we are also in the process of creating our own YouTube channel, and then on
that
our
as well.
website on mobifirst.co, once complete, you will find all of the webinars, so all the recordings of the
Yeah,
webinars.
even right in here. What
Mhm.
now? Just to because people who attend the webinars, you're actually going to get to see some things sooner than others, and so this is a work in progress. But for right now, if you also see, I put in a link. If you go to that link, we're also putting in. It's eventually going to be our home for our podcasts, but we're also putting our webinars in there too. So you could make sure that you save that, keep that handy. Some of you might even want to add it to your home screen. It is a progressive web app, and you will start to see that all our webinars that will come in there too as well. So that way you don't have to miss a thing.
Yes, Trevor, to answer your question, and as you see, again, as we said at the beginning, at the very beginning of this, of this set of meetings and of chats, this is a very informal exchange of question answers. So I'm going to answer questions, and feel free to ask anything during our chatting. So Trevor, I have MobiFirst takeover. I considering the $100 per year upgrade. By the way, as Scotty mentioned earlier, that is at least a $49 per month offer that we're gonna have starting from next week. So it's
Hmm.
really your last chance at least $49 per month. So it's really your last chance to get it at $99 per year. And in addition to all this, Trevor and Scotty, correct me again if I'm wrong. I guess you're gonna have unlimited
Correct.
websites and PWAs. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. I still don't understand why we do this sometimes, but yeah, for
That's why we're limiting it too as well.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's really because it's not going to be unlimited when we close this offer. I mean,
Correct.
it's not really doesn't really make any sense, especially under a technical point of view. But I guess we are very happy to share this at the moment with the community that we are building, and so it is important for us to do that. So okay, Okay. Does this platform, Stuart? I'm not sure I understand your question. Does this platform work with a commercial site or only B2C and web commerce? I'm not sure I understand the question. Let's say that our platform, um, the platform allows you to build any kind of website, any kind of commercial B2C, B2B,
Yeah, it's really up to you,
commerce,
Stuart. Yeah.
e-commerce. So if you could be a little bit more clear in your question, we'd be happy to answer.
Mhm.
Mark, what is a PWA? Okay, let's take a few minutes and feel free to ask questions, and we're going to talk about SEO and about AI. What is a PWA? That is a great question. Actually, I love when people ask me this question. No, sorry.
Oh, it looks like we froze there for a second. Looks like we froze. Sylvia froze. Is anyone still hearing me? Yes, you're all hearing me. Okay, looks like Silvio froze. Looks like Silvio froze there. Let's see here. And let's see. Let's see if he's gonna contact me here on Stripe. We're using Webinar Ninja, but it looks like something froze on his end. Oh, and I was waiting, right? That's like a cliffhanger, if you will. What is a PWA? That's a great one. I'm sure he gets a little bit more technical into as well.
Um,
Oh, there we go. You were frozen there for a second.
oh, okay. Sorry.
Yes, so we'll start back. What is a PWA?
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry, I got too excited probably because it's very that's the core of my job actually. So we were saying a progressive web app is an app, or better, it's a website. So it's a web app. So it's a website essentially, which has some elements and some technical features that make it behave and look and feel like an app. Okay, and the two main things are that you can install it on the home screen. Okay. Okay. You can hear me now?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So it can be installed on the home screen. Okay, just like any app that you download from app stores, and then it can receive push notifications, which are called web push notifications. By the way, until the version 16.4 of iOS, this was forbidden, or better, was not enabled on iOS, so on the iPhone, or from starting from 16.4, so the version that was released I guess a month ago more or less. Also iOS devices can receive web push notifications. So basically now a PWA, so a progressive web app, behaves very very similarly to a native app on the most modern devices, the most modern phones. There are a few other things. For example, caching, right? So you can store data on your phone so that it works also when it is offline, and it is a lot faster. So usually what you do is that you store, let's say, the frame of your app, let's call it that way, and then you load only the content that needs to be loaded, let's say, live. At the same time, the progressive part, right, is very nice, and all of these three letters, so progressive web app, they all bring something extremely exciting to this mix. Because again, app, we said it behaves like an app, so something very fluid, very immediate. Web, it's a website, so it has a URL, you can link it, you can share it, it's open, you don't need to distribute it on stores, you don't need anybody that tells we don't like this, we don't distribute it, and all that. And it is progressive in a sense that it uses technologies that recognize the capabilities of the device that it is shown on. So it has a geolocation, for example, or it has not geolocation. So it progressively, right, becomes more and more, offers more and more services, more and more features. Okay. So I hope you no, you can't hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, because I see somebody that's typing, that's writing that they cannot hear me, but I hope you can hear me clearly now.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Diego.
All okay, very good. Our PWS apps is fast as MobiFirst. How does Google look at it? Well, again, it's PWA, so progressive web app. So in reality, it's a website with and that is the progressive part, right? In a sense that if you look at that website with an older phone or with an older computer, right, it looks like a website. Then, as you use more advanced and more modern tools, more modern browsers, basically, it starts to behave more and more and more like an app until you get to the most advanced phones, so the iOS, or better, the iPhone, whatever we have, 13, 14, whatever we have now, with the latest versions of the iOS, of iOS. And then in that case, or same thing for Android and Chrome, and in that case, it behaves more or less like an app. The very nice thing about this are two, for especially for us developers, because when we used to develop and where we develop apps for iOS and Android, as you know, these two are two very separate environments, two completely separate languages. Android uses Java. You write code in Java. iOS use like something like which is called Swift, or other things which look like C. So you had to maintain two separate code bases. Moreover, there was no way basically to have one thing that works on mobile and one worked. Okay, I understand your question, Don. Just a second. One way to work on mobile, and I mean, another thing that works on desktop. With PWAs, they work on mobile, tablets, and desktop. And you can use, for example, push notifications and add to home screen, which obviously, depending on the device, can mean something else. For example, add to the desktop, on desktop, sorry, on a desktop computer, using the same, using one single code base. That is obviously incredibly effective and incredibly advantageous, especially for us developers. Steve, when will the 99 offer end, please? I think you said something about a Thursday, and I think you can make it. But in any case, always, Scotty, again, as usual, correct me here. But you feel free to contact us to say that you heard about the offer on the webinar, and for you, the offer will never end until, I mean, you will have the chance to actually buy it. Don, does the PWA only work for MobiFirst sites, or can it be used for any website? Well, obviously, I mean, the PWA is a standard, is a web standard. So as long as a website respects those standards, so it creates what is called a web manifest and service workers. I mean, stuff, very technical stuff. It works as a PWA. Clearly, what we do at MobiFirst is that we allow you to, let's say, generate a PWA very quickly, very easily, starting from your existing MobiFirst website, right? We cannot do that for external at the moment. We do not do that for external websites because we would need to have access to some internal elements. But I would strongly suggest that, our PWA offer perfectly matches, and or better, is the perfect companion with the mobile websites, or with the websites builder part, because you build an extremely advanced and extremely fast website. And then with just a couple of clicks and adding just like the logo and choosing the background for the splash page, you create the progressive web app for that same website. And from that moment, as soon as people start, let's say, installing that website, that PWA on their devices, you can start sending push notifications.
Hmm.
You can start asking people to add it to their home screen, and all that. So it becomes a much more powerful, an even more powerful, let's say, tool for branding, marketing. I know Scotty has been using it very, very effectively for
Years, couple years now.
personal branding. So
Yes.
as let's say, business card, right? I mean, that's the perfect solution. Now you have your own business card. You show the QR code, your partner, or your lead or whatever scans it, adds it to the home screen. You're always there when he needs, the plumber rather than the doctor, rather than the consultant, and all that. All right, so that was a little bit of a detour, if you
Hmm.
will, about PWA. But I hope I answered your questions. And as you see, as you see, Yeah, as you see, we found success for yes, John, exactly. J for creating SEO. See, any thought or insights on G3 packs SEO? Relevance, prevalence, and proximity. Yes, by the way, Patrick, thank you. There's a great observation from Patrick. We have found success for small and medium sized local businesses shooting for the Google 3 pack. We focus on the all three: relevance, prevalence, and proximity. That is extremely valuable. That is extremely, I mean, that's that. I totally agree. And I think that can be an extremely valuable strategy. As usual, it's a strategy in a sense that these words, relevance, prevalence, and proximity, okay, but they need to, be filled with meaning. And to be filled with meaning, they need to be filled with actions, right? So you need to actually do relevance. What does that mean? It means that you need to analyze and understand what are the right keywords that your users search for, or better, that your users, but your customers, users in this case, search for when looking for, the business or the website that you want to promote. Prevalence, yes, you need to be prevalent though. So how do you do that? Link building, mentions, paid ads, old style, word of mouth, and all that. So yes, absolutely. And then proximity. Proximity is extremely interesting because I think with the mobile revolution, let's say, proximity, I think became a new, found a new, life in itself, because you are on the move, and if you spot like a QR code, or if you can search, usually search is geolocated, right? So when you search for something, geolocating your business, and that means also doing some local SEO, right? So doing SEO on for like the maps or for local businesses and all that. So making these three things work together, absolutely. Relevance, again, keywords analysis. Prevalence, off-site optimization. You need to be known, you need to be respected, and you need to inspire trust in your users, in your visitors. And proximity, local business, so local Google, so Google Maps and all that. And also other tools like TripAdvisor, depending obviously on the kind of business that you're talking about. Yeah, we're putting the site address QR code onto our business cards. Yes, absolutely. If there's one thing maybe that the COVID pandemic brought, the good thing is that it made people understand that QR codes can be very, very useful and very, very powerful. I remember back in 10, 12 years ago when I started using a lot QR codes. Now I don't have my business cards here at hand, but like 15 years ago, I put a QR code on my business card, and everybody, I wouldn't say was laughing at me, but almost. Actually, I always, from the beginning, thought that QR code would be an extremely powerful tool, because it's simple. It is. I have to be honest. I'm a nerd, but I find it also pretty cool. Actually, it's tacky, and I like it. And then especially, it's immediate, right? So you have it on your business card, you scan it. And by the way, remember, I'm sure you all remember a time where when you had to download a specific app, at least on iOS, you had to download a specific app to scan QR codes. It was not a native function of phones. Now all you have to do is fire up your camera, and it immediately recognizes QR codes, obviously, as you know. And I guess we can start jumping on the platform. Okay, yeah. So I
Yeah,
guess you're seeing my screen.
watch a sec here. I'm going to stop screen sharing mine.
Mhm.
And then we're going to go bigger. Everybody should be seeing the big version. Yes.
Yeah,
Confirm that.
okay. All right, so I will jump back here to check if there are questions. Anyway, so um as you see, the we present. I mean, let's go and let me know if this is interesting, and if you have any questions about the platform, because I think these moments should also be an occasion for all of you to ask us questions and to see maybe doubts, or to see little things that you usually don't notice on the platform, and that maybe you want to ask questions about, or that can help you, be more effective in
Mhm.
your in using it, right? So as you know, as you see here, you always have access to the main QR code of that specific page, right? Then obviously if you do it on the home page, that is the QR code of the page, right? So you just do this, then you click with the right, and then you save it, and you have the QR code that you can share, that you can have it. By the way, we usually create QR codes, which, as you might know, QR codes have a level of how it's called, I guess, complexity or difficulty or something like that, which basically means, which basically, let's say, defines how far away you can be for the QR code to be readable, right? There are some which are smaller and with less, let's say, black and white. I mean, less complex, and you need to be closer, but they are easier to share. Our QR codes have a pretty high error check algorithm, so you can use them on flyers, you can use them on billboards, you can use them obviously on business cards and all that, right? All right, so now we said that we wanted to talk mainly about SEO on the platform, right? So this is a page, this is our home page, okay? As we said, and you see here that we have this section right here. As we said, if you remember, one of the most important elements of SEO is the title up here, right? I have a few tabs open here. This is called the meta title, right? So let me show you the actual source. So this is the website, but let me show you the actual source of a website. And here it is, title, okay? Which this one is usually called the meta title, okay? And this is what happens appear, what appears usually in the tab, and you see nail salon, and this is one of the most important elements in one of the most important elements in the yeah, in the in the actual website in SEO. Okay, and it is what it's either control. You control it either from the menu title, or if you want to go a little bit deeper and you want to have a little bit more control, you control it here in this section right here: page head, SEO, and sidebar, which is something else. Right? Okay. So the important elements, the two most important elements in this section are right here: the meta title and the meta description, which is also pretty important, yet less important than what it was 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, until 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, right? So this is very, very important. Okay. So here, usually what you do is you analyze your keywords. So a very important step in when doing SEO for your website, or when starting to build a website, is actually discovering the most effective keywords for your website. And this is related to what we were saying, and to what we were saying. Okay, thank you. What we were saying about, relevance, right? Relevance means finding the right keywords, so finding what the user will search for, and optimizing for that. Okay, so let's say that this is a nail salon in New York City, right? So the title is just nail salon, but then at that point, I would use as saloon in New York City, right? And that is obviously an extremely competitive keyword, obviously. So it's not easy to rank for this. And by the way, if you check, you see that the title was changed. This is the most important part in terms of SEO. Then we have the meta description, and then we can also check here Okay, so we have the meta description, which is now we don't have it here because we haven't added it, but we could take a little bit of this, for example, right? So we could paste it here and check the length. Length are pretty important to be respected because this is usually what is also used by search engines, especially the meta title is what is used to search engines to that is what is presented in the search engines result pages, right? Okay, so we have added a meta description. So now the meta description, we would see it only in the source code, okay? So you see it here. And it is important to add the keyword. So let's say that our keyword in this case, again, I would advise against using such a keyword because it's too competitive. But let's say that our keyword is nail salon in New York City. Then at that point, you would put it in the title and then you would put it also in the meta description. At this point, you see, we can, get the get this keyword and go in the keyword planner, for example, and get results, right? Okay, so we would get some ideas maybe from obviously. Okay, we need to change this to be worldwide. Okay, all locations, obviously not in Italian, but in English. All right. Okay. So you see that now we have quite a few suggestions. These are all keywords with their average monthly searches. Okay. Bear in mind that these are very approximate numbers. Okay. But this is a free tool that everybody can use. It's the Google Ads. So Google AdWords keyword ideas. Just search for that on Google and this will pop up. Okay. You need to have an account, but it's free to open it. So at this point, right, you would see a lot of keywords that you can start thinking about. Best nail salons, obviously. Best acrylic nails, New York City. These are all keywords with an average monthly searches. Again, this give you an idea of a very rough estimate of the difficulty and importance and relevance of a keyword, right? So at that point, our job would be to search and to use the best ones that we can find, the most relevant, because relevance, going back to the concept to the concept, going back to the concept of relevance, relevance is a twofold um, uh, concept, right? Because it's relevant to the customer, right? Okay, so something which is relevant to the search that they are doing, but it needs to be also relevant to us, right? Relevant to our business, right? So that is why searching for these keywords, for example, we are very good at doing nail extensions, okay? So at that point, relevance would be, doing and choosing that keyword right there. There was a question: is more characters best on the length of the meta title or less? Mark, let's say that with a lot of obviously everything in SEO is up for debate, and everything in SEO is actually changes constantly. Okay, but what, let's say, the people that study this thing daily have found is that a very good um, meta title length is around 60 characters, right? Usually, what a good structure, but that's a rule of the thumb, so it's not automatic. But usually, a good structure for a meta title of any page is like the keyword, like we have here, and then a small sentence. Come visit us and discover our incredible prices. Okay, now our prices, something like that. Okay, something like that. We are 5 characters long, but that's all right. So we could change this to New York City, right? Okay, something like that. This is usually a good structure. So your keyword, your main keyword, and then something which is like a sentence or like a colloquial expression that users would see, because usually you people that search for us would see this in the listings of search engine results, right? So it's nice to be located. It's nice to have a keyword because that is the relevant part. But then at the same time, you need to also talk to your customer, talk to your visitor, and tell him, come see us, come to our site. We are the right choice for you, or at least try us. Okay, so I hope I answered that. All right. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's what we have here. Then, but while we are here, and I know Scotty, you wanted me to talk a little bit about this. We have what is called the Open Graph part. All of the Open Graph part. Open Graph is, let's say, a standard which was introduced, or at least it's mostly used by Facebook and other companies, which basically allows you to share the title, the description, and then also an image that is that is shown when okay, so let me do this. That is shown when your website is shared on social on social media. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm filling up these details. Okay, so I'm filling up these details. All right, so we have them here, and as you will see, these contents have been updated. Okay, and then now to test if it's working, we can go on the Facebook Open Graph Debugger, right? Or what is called the sharing debugger. Then we put the URL of the page, and we see how this would be shown. Okay, how this would be shown when somebody shares it on Facebook or on other social media, right? So it would be shown like this. Now, obviously, we don't have a domain, but that's pretty nice. Okay, so if somebody shares this page on social media, this is how it will look like. So this allows us, again, controlling this part right here, the open graph right here. This allows us to control how our website or this page will look like when shared on Facebook, Twitter, and all of the other uh, social media websites that use the Open Graph standard. Okay. Obviously, here there's a little warning. It's missing an app ID, because you can specify also if you have like a Facebook page or something like that. So don't forget to actually fill these details. Let's say that the system does its best to actually, even if you don't feel it, the system does its best to actually, let's say, try to understand what to use. But if you specify it explicitly, you have much more control. All right, so let's see if we have all right. So let's go. Diego is asking, OpenGrass is working on WhatsApp too. Well, it should work on WhatsApp too. I would ask you to test it. It usually does, since, oh, by the way, WhatsApp is a meta, let's say, property. So, but yeah, it should work. If we want to modify sections by inserting JavaScript codes, how and what's the safe approach to not mess up other portions? All right, so if you want to modify sections with JavaScript, there are two ways you can do this. First of all, you can add script with this thing right here, scripts in the head section. This allow you to add some scripts, so some JavaScript usually, which are added in the head section of this page, right? You you can do this also in the footer. All right, so you go here, script before the closing body tag. All right, or you can also do something like this. We also offer you a code script widget. Okay, so basically this allows you to enter any JavaScript you want into one specific piece. Obviously, you need to know what you're doing because you control your website, so you really need to know what you're doing. Open Graph title, what a cryptic name for what it is. I'm sorry, but that's the actual official name, let's say, because it's, let's say, the title that is shared, let's say, that is used by the standard, which is called Open Graph. Now, the story behind the graph, the idea of the graph, is because Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, they consider connections between users as a graph, right? So as a like a web of links. So that's why it's called Open Graph. Should we strictly follow H1 to H6 in the same order? Or can we interchange on a page? I mean, H in between and H. No, I think the Chandra is asking this question about H1. So headings, H1, H6 are tags, let's say, which identify titles, right? Or better, headings. So this one, for example, if you notice, and now we're going to inspect this, but this one is an H3 in this case, for example. So no, I personally wouldn't be too strict about H1, H2, H3. I would say that you see this is an H1, for example. So I wouldn't be too strict about this. All right. If I have a domain name with an SSL, okay, with SSL already, with that SSL word for a MobiFirst website. No, sorry, I'm really sorry, Don, but given the way our system works, we cannot at the moment allow. We do not allow external, let's say, third-party SSL certificates. Yeah. If we add code in the main title and or subtitle, does this affect SEO? Adding stronger or a new font? No, it doesn't really affect SEO. You again, we try to keep the source as clean as possible. Now we embedded the CSS because it's faster, but we try to keep we try to keep the code as clean as possible. So no. Let's again, SEO, as we said the other time. Is a lot the 80-20 rules. I don't know if you've ever heard of this rule. Basically 80%, let's say 20% of the effort brings you to 80% of the result, right? So if you optimize your website, you use the right tags, you use the right content, you type, you write, you share the right content, and you use the right platform. I'm sorry, but I have to say it, like MobiFirst, exactly. Then you are 80% there, and it is more than enough to actually get great results, especially given that most likely the majority of your competitors are not good at generating good content, are not good at generating links, and most likely they're using a crappy platform like Wix or Squarespace or even WordPress, non-optimized WordPress. So you'll blow them out of the water. I mean, I've never had any problem positioning any website that I've built on the MobiFirst platform, for the keywords I wanted, because it does everything that it does. Of course, if you want to, position yourself for a keyword like nail, let's say nail salon in New York City, where you compete against people that have millions and millions of dollars, spend millions of dollars in marketing. In that case, then it's important to be very careful on what tag you're going to use, and then the strong, and then generate thousands of articles per month and all that. But I'm pretty sure that for the majority of small and medium websites that usually compete in a very not really crowded marketplace, and for not extremely competitive keywords, optimizing a web page just by filling the blanks and right, filling the elements that we mentioned, and adding some good content without writing too much, but writing the right amount of stuff, is more than enough for being well indexed, and for being well positioned. Scotty, what do you say? I move on to, we talk about AI a little bit now.
Yeah, let's talk about AI. I
I
mean,
don't
I'm
know, guys. Do we have any additional question about SEO, about this hands-on?
let me
Should we use
just
website domain name on every meta title? Oh well, Chandra, actually, that's a great question. Well, yeah. Two things. Now, thank you so much, Chandra and Jody. Now, I don't know, but thank you both, because these are two great questions. Should we use website domain name on every meta title? No, we shouldn't. But another important element of SEO is actually domain name. I think that choosing the right domain name, which maybe could contain, if possible, contains a variation of some of the keywords, usually can bring some pretty good results in terms of positioning and in terms of SEO. Okay, so I wouldn't use it because it's like, unless it's like your, like a keyword, right? For example, I have here in Italy, I used to have here in Italy a website which is called Chatbots Builder, Chatbots Dash Builder. That's a keyword, and the fact that the domain is chatbotsbuilder.it, I'm sure helped a lot in terms of SEO. What about submitting new websites to search engines? It is a must, and if so, how is this done? I actually, no. Well, first of all, forget about the correspondence from people who can submit your website to search engines. But one important thing, and the problem is that I don't remember where we have it, is that, okay, SEO and robots. Okay, yeah, let's touch about this too. Quick aside, robots text, the robots.txt file is basically a file or some content that allows you to tell search engines, certain search engines, to avoid indexing or actually spidering your website. So we also offer this. Now, I don't remember though where we have the sitemap. Okay, this sitemap, which is something very specific, is a pretty interesting way to is it? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So every website on our platform has this thing right here. Now, obviously, this sitemap is very simple because it's just one page. But if we do it for much larger websites, you would see this is an XML file which is generated, and you find it just by, obviously in this case, this is the base core 3 URL. But if you have a domain, you just find it by adding sitemap.xml at the end of the URL. Okay, so either this if it's a core 3 base URL, or if you replace this with the domain. So for example, let's see, I'm gonna try this, and obviously it's not gonna work, but let's see, mobifirst.co, that's sitemap. Okay, here it is. You see that this is a much larger, it's a much larger XML file, which has all of the locations. You see that is basically an XML file with the list of all of the pages that are currently on the website. This sitemap can be added and should be added in what is called Search Console. Google Search Console, right? Actually, yeah, that's important. This is pretty important. This is an extremely important tool. Okay, you see here, that's about a website I have here in Italy. Okay, so you should use this one because it's called Google Search Console. Mark it down, remember it. I don't know, write it on the fridge, whatever. But you should use this because it gives you the performance details about your search positions, and this is from Google, right? And then it allows you to add your sitemap. Okay, so you enter the sitemap URL. So in this case, it's this one. Okay, so your domain slash sitemap.xml, right? And what does Google does is uses this to start indexing your website. Okay, and then it pings it periodically, right? So since this is always up to date, since it is created on our platform, it, it is created on the fly. It automatically, let's say, tells Google of new pages that you have added. Now, console, yeah, Chris. It's a site without dash, sitemap.xml. Obviously, is this enough to be positioned and ranked on Google? No, because otherwise it would be a little bit too easy. Is this necessary? Maybe not, in a sense that if you are linked from the homepage of the New York Times, you don't need to add a sitemap. Given that most likely we will not be linked from the homepage of CNN or the New York Times or whatever, it is a useful tool. Okay, so Google Search Console, and especially then it gives you information about performance, right? So this is again, this is a little website I have here in Italy, and so it gives you now. This is last 3 months, but for example, you can say last 28 days. All right, so you see that I've had 20,000, and then also has the the average position, which is very interesting. And it's also interesting because it gives you the actual queries. These are not my keywords, these are what people searched when they found me. Okay, so now, as you can imagine, this website is about movies, right? So, okay, I guess I got some nice positioning here. So when people search for La Dolce Vita, which is a movie, I guess somebody knows it, Fontana di Trevi, which is a pretty popular fountain in Rome, I got 183 impressions, 5 clicks out of those 100, and then I was in the average position 6.8. This is an extremely powerful tool to understand how you're going in search engine positioning. Okay, another obviously extremely important tool is Google Analytics, which is still free, which is complex. I mean, it is whatever. It's cumbersome and all that, but it's still a pretty important and pretty popular, um, a pretty effective way to analyze your performances. Now, we don't have time, obviously, to go over this stuff, but if for SEO, Google Search Console, mark down this thing, and then again, you just add. You see, add a property and then you follow. It's pretty easy to do it. Obviously, this site is hosted on MobiFirst, so it's perfectly easy. I mean, absolutely easy to implement it, to do it, to enable it, and all that. Thank you, Jody. Where do we put pixel codes for Chris, apart from the fact that you apparently cannot spell console, but that's all right. Where do we put pixel codes for a retargeting list? Well, usually it depends on where they ask you to put it. Usually you would do it probably in the footer. It's a piece of JavaScript code, or actually maybe we have analytics and ads. Actually, we have a dedicated part for Facebook pixel code. You can use this one, but again, this in reality, that's all just a piece of JavaScript. So you can add it in the footer, you can add it in the head section, you can add it wherever you want. I mean, it's not really that important. We have it as a convenience here, but it's not all that important. Okay,
All right,
let
great
me share.
information.
Let me show you because I'm pretty proud of it. Let me show you one of our. I'm not sure it's gonna work. So I mean, it's a work in progress. It's still in not even beta. It's in alpha, but we have added with this thing right here. All right. So pay attention. Just 2-3 more minutes. So now you can create a page from scratch, or you can create a page with AI. That's different from what we saw before. So we have AI templates, and we also have in any website the ability to create a page with AI. How does it work? Let's see. You click on this, then you choose the page structure. Okay. So let's say a pretty standard one like this one. Then you give it a topic. What did we say was an interesting keyword here? Luxury nails salon in New York City. Okay. Where are we? Okay. And then we say that the category is beauty nails. All right, let's see if it works. I cannot guarantee it, but we are creating a new page with AI, right? So we said we defined the page structure, we gave it a topic, which in this case was a keyword that we got from here, and then we selected, let's say, the media library category that we think is appropriate for the images that we want to show in that page. Okay, so we have our page, right? Here we are. So as you see, the structure is the one we decided, right? We're gonna see it better here. We have a header, all right? Then obviously we can customize the style and all that. Then we have this layout. So we have three content blocks. So top quality, the ultimate spy daily, and with the correct images that we wanted to, let's say we said nails. Obviously, from this moment on, it's a regular web page. So as you've seen while I was talking, we just created. So we said, okay, we want this. No, we want this to be white. All right, and centered. Okay, and this one also we want it as centered, and we want it okay like that. No, that's too dark. Like that. Okay. All right. So well, obviously at this point we are in the usual thing. So as you see, we have created a new page. This is a new page. All right. With the structure that we wanted in less in a minute, more or less. And clearly now we can add widgets, the booking, the buttons, e-commerce. It's a quick way to generate content. We can also generate a blog, for example. So let's create a new one. Okay, blog. Okay, let's go get another. Okay, best spot pedicure. All right, all right. And then, let's say with hairs this time. All right, all right. Mm, okay, okay, okay. Cannot support it. If I have a website which is responsive, how can MobiFirst help SEO? Our websites, let's say they're not responsive, they are, let's say, adaptive. That's the technical term, but we are a mobile first platform. But the okay, so let me answer, Mark. How can MobiFirst help SEO? Well, we can help SEO. I mean, it's not really related responsive to SEO. We help SEO because we provide you with the content now, as you have seen, and then we provide you with a platform that allows you to build a very fast and very well structured website. That is the best we can do, and that is the best platform in terms of actually base you can use to create your websites and make it very very effective. Where do we enter the Google Analytics for code? You can, again, it's just a piece of. By the way, here is our blog. Okay, now obviously we have chosen some images. I mean, we can adjust images, but here is our blog, right? So we have these articles which were created very quickly. So we also have our blog now. You can enter them here, analytics and ads. Okay, so Google Analytics here, or again, it's just a piece of JavaScript that you can enter in the header. Here you see script in the head, so it's really not that important to where you add it. Okay. Are the content plagiarism free? Well, that's a very good question. They are AI generated content, so I mean, it's not that it's completely uh, everything Chandra has been said and written. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. Everything has been said and written, so it is very very difficult in this day and age to be completely plagiarism free. It is as plagiarism free as AI generated content. By the way, in at the moment we use ChatGPT in the backend, or better, OpenAI in the backend. So that's the best that the technology can offer at the moment. But yeah, Mark, I would say that MobiFirst is an alternative for websites development. I would define it as an alternative. Um, Greg, in the platform, I see a reference to a webbook. What is that? That is related to, I guess you're referring to. Thank you, James. Thank you very much. In the platform, I see references to a webbook. It's I guess related. You're referring to payments, basic Stripe. So basically, when you are paid, or PayPal, when you're paid, a webbook is, let's say, a URL where, again, you are paid, and Stripe in the back end, let's say, without you noticing it, alerts us or alerts the platform owner. So if you are white label, could be you, that somebody has paid. I guess that is,
Mm.
I imagine that's what I can reply when you mentioned a webbook.
Oh,
All right. I wanted to
oh,
know if the edit bar inside the preview will be restored because my customer are asking. Diego, yes, I'll try to. Yeah, we changed a few things, which made things a little bit faster on one end. But yeah, we'll try to re initiate it. Absolutely. Yes.
and I know there was a question a little bit earlier about submitting a support ticket. You should actually be able to see a support ticket in every platform. That way, you could easily submit one to us. Obviously, I'm hearing that you cannot do that. So if you could actually just send in a support email, I know that you when you log in your platform, you see that, and then we can take a look at that too as well to make sure that you do have that functionality so you can submit a ticket to us easily. And then we are obviously at a 1 hour, so we are coming to the end. Obviously, we're going to be doing these on a weekly basis. I'm probably sitting here like everybody else, and I've been playing with this platform for probably close to 10 years now, and I just learned some more information today. So the more you use this platform, the more that you kind of even at your own, as Silvio is saying, do some digging, find there's so many uses for this actual platform. And then when you're talking about adding a progressive web app to it as well, I mean the sky's the limit of what you can do. It's almost like a fingerprint. Everybody who has this probably has their own ideas of how to use it, and it's near impossible to know every single thing about the platform. And just when you think you do, we've come out with new features. So it's an ever growing platform. So and again, Sylvia went over some fantastic information today on SEO and made that really really user friendly. And I know for one, I was able to follow along perfectly. I mean, that was just awesome, Sylvia, so thank you.
Thank you.
See here.
Just one, Rob. If PWA is currently disabled, means probably you are on a plan for which it is disabled. So I would check that.
Right. And the
Um,
$99 plan that we've been talking about, if you log into your platform, the platform.MobiFirst.co, log in, and then you will actually see that you have an option in the platform itself to upgrade to that. And then you have the PWA and the site maker all in one.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I mean, thank you for being here. First of all, that is the best, the nicest thing that you could do, being here. And thank you, for the kind words that you always say. And yeah, well, I don't know, Scotty, we're gonna see you. We're gonna be here next week, and
Yes, next week,
I don't
same
know,
time.
maybe we can start a little bit with CSS. I don't know. I don't know. Um,
Yeah, send in some what we'd like
yeah,
to do
send
too
some. Yeah,
is
what would you want us to talk
yes,
about?
yes, yes. Send
We
in
have,
that, and we
again.
will
Mm,
base it off of that. We obviously have our own ideas, but if you're coming at and saying we get like a multiple um, requests for, hey, could you go over CSS? We will tackle that one. Could you go over this? We will tackle that one. Before long, we'll go over sales, how I use it, how some people in here use it too as well. Also, if you scroll up earlier in this chat, you will actually see a website that I put in, and if you actually go to that website, you will start to see all our replays will be there. Plus, we will have multiple other avenues for you to see it, but it's called MobiFirstPodcast.com. Also, what I'm opening the floor up. If you actually are using our platform very successfully and you want to actually be interviewed on our podcast, please also submit the form on that website, and that'll come to us, and then I can actually start interviewing some of you, and hey, we'll make you famous. That kind of thing. So yes, and that way you're able to track all of our webinars, everything. We'll also be putting our webinar registration on there along with sending out an email. We will also be posting it in your platform as you log in, so numerous ways that you'll be able to connect with us and attend these webinars. So
yeah, and
awesome.
if you paid the $99, but like the PWA is still grayed out, or AI is not active, either wait maybe a few minutes, or send a support ticket. It could be that it's the payment didn't come through completely to our platform, but just send us the
Right.
receipt in any case, and will enable it on your account.
Yeah, what I've
Correct?
noticed is some people, for the most part, you will have like your platform login information, abc at gmail.com, for example. But then when you go to complete the payment, you use a different email address to complete the payment. And that's where the system is not, connecting with two different email addresses. So if
Yeah,
that's the case, again, just contact support. We just
exactly.
go in and we turn that on for you in a matter of seconds as soon as we know.
Yeah, exactly,
And the
exactly.
let me see, Ernest, I'm trying to find the 99 option for support services, but I don't see it. We don't have a $99 for support services. This is our support is actually, a ticketing system that you can submit a ticket in. Now, our support is used in this way. Our support, you submit a ticket. It's for maybe you had a technical issue, but it's not necessarily the how-to. The how-to is actually through all our tutorials. So you'll view a tutorial, go through all the information on there. It's usually everything is pretty much covered. And if you actually need support above and beyond, where, for me, for example, I can go, listen, I know I can go through tutorials. I know I could do this, but if I could just hire somebody on support to actually get me through this process a lot faster, there's that option too as well. So, a good idea to have showcase platform where yes, and that John, that is kind of what I want to do, right? So if you can kind of think of a podcast, and we actually have a podcast widget of all things, right? The goal is not only I'm being interviewed from different podcast places, articles. I was actually I don't like to toot the horn, but I was actually just in LA Weekly article of an upcoming entrepreneur to kind of be on the lookout for. So it's kind of things like that we want to do for you all. So if you have an idea, you have a business, and submit that through that podcast form, that email, the website, and then we'll have a conversation. And then I'll get you on a podcast, and we'll also be promoting whatever your business is too as well.
Ron, your account should now be set. Rob, sorry, not Ron. Rob.
Thank you, Silvio. It's that fast. We'll go over some of those things. That will bring up another meeting
Oh, that's
where
fine.
we'll go over product management and how that kind of works, that tool, which is a lot of fun. So, all right, everybody, we're
Yeah.
gonna end this webinar now. Again, Silvio, thank you for the wealth of information. We will chat with everybody again next Monday. So have yourself an adventurous week, and thanks again, everybody, for attending.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Bye bye.
everybody.